Hello and welcome to what I can only describe as a geopolitical cage match of unprecedented scale. Today we're diving headfirst into the ring with two heavyweight contenders vying for global dominance, India and China. Now you might be thinking, John, why compare these two? They're about as similar as a panda is to a Bengal tiger, and you'd be right on the surface, but scratch a little deeper and you'll find two nations grappling with remarkably similar challenges: massive populations, booming economies, and the ambition to reshape the world order in their image. Over the next however long it takes to dissect two global superpowers minutes, we'll be exploring the key factors that define these two titans. We'll be looking at everything from population density to military might, from technological innovation to the delightful nuances of their healthcare systems, because frankly, if we're going to crown a victor, we need to judge this on more than just who has the spiciest food. Let's kick things off with the one metric where China and India are absolutely crushing its sheer, unadulterated human existence. Both countries are absolutely bursting at the seams with people, each boasting populations exceeding 1.4 billion. Now, China has long held the title of world's most populous, but recent projections suggest India is poised to overtake them within the decade. See, China's facing a demographic time bomb thanks to its one-child policy, which, let's be honest, was about as effective as a screen door on a submarine. They're staring down the barrel of a rapidly aging population and a shrinking workforce. India, on the other hand, is practically swimming in young people. By 2030, it's estimated that over half of India's population will be under the age of 25. But here's the catch. Having a young, vibrant population is only an asset if you can provide them with jobs, education, and a decent standard of living. All right, let's talk money, honey, because when it comes to economic clout, both China and India are packing some serious heat. China, with its relentless manufacturing engine and seemingly endless supply of iPhones, has been the world's factory floor for decades. India, on the other hand, has taken a slightly more Bollywood approach to its economic rise. They've focused on service industries, churning out tech wizards and call center operators faster than you can say outsourcing. But let's be real, judging an economy solely on GDP growth is like judging a book by its cover. You got to look at the fine print. All right, buckle up, Buttercup, because this is where things get a little tense. Two nuclear-armed neighbors with a history of border disputes can make things spicy. China, with its massive military budget and hypersonic missiles, is the region's top dog. India has adopted a more defensive posture. They've been modernizing their armed forces and developing ballistic missiles. Military might isn't just about shiny toys, it's about strategy, alliances, and the will to use force. Both China and India are playing a delicate game. All right, let's talk about something a little less terrifying than nuclear war, shall we? Let's talk about technology. Because in the 21st century, technological prowess is the new battlefield. And both China and India are fighting tooth and nail for supremacy. China, with its state-sponsored tech giants and relentless focus on artificial intelligence, has been on a tear lately. India, on the other hand, has been quietly building a reputation as the world's back office. They've got a thriving tech sector, churning out software engineers and app developers like there's no tomorrow. But here's the thing. Technological progress isn't just about who can build the fastest computer or the coolest app. It's about using technology to solve real-world problems, improve people's lives, and create a more sustainable future. All right, let's talk about something that affects us all: staying alive. Because when it comes to healthcare, both China and India are grappling with the same fundamental challenge. How do you provide affordable, accessible healthcare to over 1 billion people? China, with its top-down government-run healthcare system, has made some impressive strides in recent decades. They've expanded health insurance coverage to nearly their entire population, and they've made significant investments in hospitals and medical infrastructure. India, on the other hand, has a much more fragmented healthcare system. It's a patchwork of public and private providers, with a heavy reliance on out-of-pocket expenses. But here's the thing, access to healthcare isn't just about having a shiny new hospital on every corner. It's about affordability, quality of care, and addressing the underlying social determinants of health. And in that regard, both China and India face significant challenges. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and comment. Now let's talk about the future of the children, because when it comes to education, both China and India are engaged in a high-stakes battle to equip their young people with the skills they need to thrive in the 21st century. China, with its rigorous exam-oriented education system, has long placed a premium on rote learning and memorization. India, on the other hand, has a more diverse education landscape. It's a mix of public and private schools with varying degrees of quality and accessibility. But here's the thing, education isn't just about cramming your head full of facts and figures. It's about fostering critical thinking, creativity, and a love of learning. And in that regard, both China and India face challenges. China's education system is often criticized for stifling creativity and innovation. Chapter 7, Culture Clash, from Bollywood blockbusters to the Terracotta Army. All right, let's move on to something a little more fun. Let's talk about culture. Because when it comes to cultural influence, both China and India are heavy hitters, with rich histories, diverse traditions, and a knack for captivating the world with their unique brands of soft power. China, with its ancient civilization, stunning architecture, and delectable cuisine, has long been a source of fascination for the West. India, on the other hand, is a riot of color, sound, and spice. They've got Bollywood, yoga, and a spiritual side that has attracted seekers and celebrities alike. But here's the thing. Culture isn't just about tourist attractions and exotic cuisine. It's about shared values, beliefs, and traditions. And in that regard, both China and India face challenges. China's government has a long history of suppressing dissenting voices and controlling the narrative. All right, let's talk about something a little less glamorous, but equally important: infrastructure. Because when it comes to building the roads, bridges, and airports of the future, both China and India are engaged in a massive construction boom. China, with its authoritarian government and seemingly bottomless pockets, has been on an infrastructure tear for decades. They've built more high-speed rail lines than the rest of the world combined, and they're busy constructing futuristic cities from scratch. India, on the other hand, has been playing catch-up. They've got a massive infrastructure deficit with crumbling roads, overcrowded airports, and a rail system that's in dire need of an upgrade. But they're making progress, albeit at a slower pace than their Chinese counterparts. All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or rather the smog cloud over the city, the environment, because when it comes to environmental challenges, both China and India are facing a perfect storm of population growth, rapid industrialization, and the consequences of climate change. China, with its coal-powered factories and car-clogged cities, has long been the world's biggest polluter, but in recent years they've made some surprising strides in tackling their environmental problems. They've invested heavily in renewable energy, they're planting trees faster than you can say deforestation, and they're even building giant smog towers to suck the pollution out of the air. India, on the other hand, is facing its own environmental crisis. They've got polluted rivers, toxic air, and a garbage problem that's reaching epic proportions, but they're also making progress, albeit from a lower baseline. They've set ambitious targets for renewable energy, they're promoting electric vehicles, and they're trying to tackle their waste problem with a mix of high-tech and low-tech solutions. Let's talk about global influence. China and India are vying for power and influence. China uses its economic might and diplomatic clout. They're building infrastructure and courting allies. India takes a more subtle approach. They leverage their diaspora and promote democracy. Global influence is about responsible power use, addressing global challenges like climate change and poverty. Both China and India have mixed track records. Well, there you have it, folks. The tale of the tape, the clash of the titans, the ultimate showdown between India and China. We've covered everything from population to pollution, from technology to traditional medicine. So who comes out on top? Honestly, it's too close to call. It's like trying to choose between biryani and Peking duck. Both are delicious, both are satisfying, and both leave you wanting more. But here's the thing. This isn't a zero-sum game. The rise of China and India doesn't have to come at the expense of the other or at the expense of the rest of the world. In fact, their success could be a win-win for everyone if they can learn to cooperate, compete responsibly, and use their power for good.